and welcome to At Home today. Thank you, everyone. It's so nice to see you. It's so nice to be here with you. You know, sometimes we face each day and we don't know what we're going to be facing that day. Get up in the morning and think, well, it's just going to be an average day. And sometimes it isn't. Sometimes life has a way of dealing things that are very harsh to us. And so if you're going through a rough period today and you think, oh my goodness, how am I going to make it? I never dreamed this would ever happen to me. You know what? We've all been there. We have all been in that position where we never dreamed it would happen to us. But it does. But you know, it's what you do in situations like that that counts, that's so important. What do you do when you think, how could life do this to me? Why would any of us be exempt? It happens to all of us. But you know what? I personally know of someone who cares. And he cares about what happens to you. Cares about what happens to me. I've been through some rough waters lately, but I have to tell you that God is so faithful. And if you will trust him to bring you through whatever it is that you're going through today, you might be in the middle of something, you might just be starting into something, you might be at the end of it. But whatever it is, we have a faithful God who, when you will bow your knee and pray and open up your heart and tell him exactly how you feel, he hears and he answers you. And he'll do it for you. He is no respecter of persons. I don't care. You say, but Arlene, nothing has been as bad as this. No one's ever had to go through this. Guess what? Somebody's been through what you're going through. They've made it, and you're going to make it too. And the way you do that is just say, here it is, Lord. I give it to you. And I ask you to work. And to work it all out according to your will. And if you truly mean it, he'll do it. Okay? Today we're going to do pies. No, not the sweet, gooey, fruity ones. Today we're doing vegetable pies. Chattanooga tomato pie and a wonderful, awesome onion quiche. Oh, if you could smell the onions in here, you'd just love it. We'll be back in just a minute, but here's today's at-home hint first. We'll be right back. Here's today's at-home hint. Replace half the mayonnaise in creamy dressings and dips with plain low-fat or no-fat yogurt. Add herbs, mustard, horseradish, or salsa to boost the flavor.
For updates, pictures, stories, and more, like us on Facebook. To watch hundreds of classic episodes, subscribe to us on YouTube. And to get hundreds of free recipes, visit ctvn.org/athome.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're here in the kitchen, the at-home kitchen, and we're making pies. The first one is the Chattanooga tomato pie, and it's got an unusual crust in that it doesn't have the regular pastry crust. What we're going to do is just take a cup of Bisquick, which we really like. You know, people in the South use Bisquick a lot, baking mix, and a third of a cup of milk, like so. And you're just going to want to mix those up. Let me get a fork here. Just have to mix that up, and that forms into a crust that you're not going to roll out. It's not a crust that rolls out like you do a pastry crust. This crust is going to get patted into the bottom of a deep dish 10-inch pie plate, because this is the basis for our Chattanooga pie, all right? And you can see it comes together pretty good. If you're going to take the time to, and the effort to do it, you want to do it right. And to do it right, you need some of these plastic gloves or else it gets all over your manicure. We don't like that. Okay, so here we go. You know, every time I put these on, no matter where I am, I think it's time to do my hair, because this is the same kind of comes in the hair color. No, I'm not doing hair today. Sorry, Jim, you have to go to the beauty shop. I'm making a pie, and I don't want that goo all over me. Okay, so then you just take this, and you're going to gather it together, and you want to butter your pie plate, well buttered, okay? And then you're going to just take this in, and it's sticky, and you might have to add a little bit more of your Bisquick to get it, because it's sticky. Well, you can dry that out with some more Bisquick. I'm not going to take the time to do that because we've already got one made and baked, because we wanted you to see what it is. But what you want to do, you're going to smooth this till it comes up, not to the top of the pan, but up to the sides of the pan, okay? Kind of like that. And make sure it's even, okay? See, this is what's the nice part. Now I can just take these off and move it to the side. All right, here's what you have when you're done. Isn't that beautiful? And you only bake it 5 minutes. 5 minutes, because it's going to go back into the oven to be baked some more. So 5 minutes it's baked. Get rid of this. Okay, now, what we're going to do now with this, look at these tomatoes. Jim, have you ever seen a tomato like that? Is that gorgeous? These are organically grown, all available now at McGinnis Sisters because they've gone totally organic, which is great. And we're going to slice tomatoes for all over the bottom of this pie. And you know what? I like to make them thick because I feel like this. When I bite into it, I want to be able to taste that tomato. Oh, yeah. And this is a great pie if you're serving a brunch for an aunt or whoever. Or if, you know, when the summer tomatoes start coming in, you're always looking for, what can I make with some tomatoes? This would be a great one. And I think everybody would like it. Okay, so we're going to keep cutting. Cut nice thick slices, beautiful thick slices. Tell you what, these couldn't be any nicer. Make sure they're nicely washed. And then you just start layering them in the bottom of this pie. Yum. I tell you, there's nothing like a tomato to make your mouth water, is there? I mean, you just start tasting it. You taste it with your eyes. I always tell you, taste it with your eyes before it ever gets into your mouth. And boy, this one, look at them. This looks like it's the end of summer, right? Doesn't it, Mike? Seems like it's the end of summer rather than just beginning. And cover it all. Make sure it's all covered. You want to, and if you have to just cut up pieces to fit in, or if you think it looks a little scarce in one spot, just make sure everything is covered with these delicious tomatoes. And don't forget, keep this when the tomatoes are plentiful and you think, what can I make? This in a salad is a wonderful brunch recipe. If you have some friends in, maybe after church some Sunday, you're just going to have some folks over. This would be great. All right. Now, the thing I like most that goes with tomatoes is basil. So, I'm going to take my tomatoes off, and I have fresh basil here, beautifully cleaned and washed, dried. Make sure you dry it. And you're just going to line it all up kind of like that. And then you're going to twist it over, kind of like that, and you're just going to chop it. Just chop, chop. And it can be in little pieces. It can be chopped, or it can be even in bigger pieces. I've made times when I've used basil, and I've put whole big leaves of basil on whatever it is I'm making. But this, you just want to chop it up. And then you're going to sprinkle that all over the pie. What more could you want, gang? Remember we used to make that salad that had the mozzarella cheese and the basil dressing and the slices of tomato and the onion? Well, this is almost that same idea because we've got the tomatoes and the basil. Now we need the cheese, right? Well, I just happen to have something I'm going to put together for you. And this is 1 cup of mayonnaise. I want to put that in your bowl, like so, and a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now, you notice I didn't salt that? I didn't add any salt to that tomato. Normally with tomatoes you do, but Parmesan cheese has a lot of salt, so you don't want to do that. Let people put that on at the table if necessary, okay? Also, when you bake that crust, you bake it at 450 degrees, and when you bring it out, you turn it down then to 325, all right? Because you want to be sure that you don't keep it up because it will burn on you. Okay, so we're just mixing this around like so. It's very easy to do. Oh, the smell of basil and tomatoes. I mean, the fresh tomato, nothing smells like a good tomato. Oh, yummo. There we go. Now, we're going to just put this on the top of this pie. Doesn't matter if you get some of the basil coming through, won't matter. But you want to make sure that it gets clear to the edge of the crust. That would be important to do. Okay? Just like that. Yum. Okay. Now, get my other little scraper here. I hope that you're enjoying this, and I hope you're going to try it, because as you can see, this is very simple, easy to do. And what's going to happen when you bake this, this is going to get a gold crust all over the top. And that cheese is going to go down in there. Oh, Going to flavor the tomatoes. Oh, you have a nice crust going there, and it's a little different kind of a crust than what we normally use as a pastry crust. So this then goes into an oven. Remember, it's a 325 now. We haven't left it up on that 450. And I would probably, you want to make sure that all of the tomatoes are covered, okay? Just like so. This makes a deep dish too. Make sure you use your deep dish pie shell and pie plate when you're making this. Okay? There we go. Now, I'm going to lay a couple of these on top just because they're pretty. And this is going right into the oven right now, okay? And as I do this, you're going to get prepared to listen to what we have to tell you, and we'll be right back in just a minute. Here we go.
If you love At Home with Arlene Williams, then subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have hundreds of episodes with all your favorite recipes, holidays, and friends.
Say hi to your fan club.
Hi, fan club.
And don't forget to click the bell so you'll never miss another episode of At Home.
Well, if you're just joining us today, you've already missed our Chattanooga tomato pie. But maybe you'll like this one. This is called an awesome onion quiche. And I know that a lot of guys say, oh, you know, real men don't like quiche. Well, a lot of guys that I know who are real men really like quiche. And you're going to like this one because this has a basis of onions, not just plain onions, but green onions and a Vidalia onion. Oh, this is great. What I've done here, and I did this ahead of time because you have to do this and let it cool. I've taken about 3 cups, maybe a little bit more than 3 cups, of the Vidalia onion. That's the white onion. And you brown that in a couple of tablespoons of butter. You kind of want them to caramelize, but you don't want them to get real brown. You don't want that depth. Then you add a cup of the little green onions, been chopped fine. And you let it cook about 5 minutes more. And then, after it starts to pick up some color, what you do is you take it off the stove, the heat, and let it cool. Because now we're going to make the quiche part. This is the basis for your whole pie. Then, even while you're doing that, you can bake your pie crust. Now, this is just a plain 9-inch pie crust. If you could do a deep dish, that would be good. All you do is put in your pan, flute the edges, and bake it. Now, do you see how this shrinks down a little bit? Didn't do too badly because we pricked it a lot so that would take the puffiness out. But I had one of our viewers write to me and said, and she happened to find this out just by chance. She was making pies one morning, and she made them 4 at a time. And she was making cream pies, so she had the crust all ready to go. And she got a phone call, and she had to leave to go somewhere. So she left them unbaked out on the counter. She thought, well, when I come back, I'll bake them. When she came back and baked them, they never shrank a bit. And she thinks it's because some of the moisture evaporated out of them while she was gone. She said, Arlene, you don't have to put beans in there to hold them up. You don't have to do anything. It works. So you might want to try that the next time. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to do that today. But anyways, this is only baked about 9 minutes because you're going to bake it again when we put the filling in. Okay, the filling. We're going to take 3 nice big fresh eggs. And you want to use nice, extra large is fine for this. I usually use large when I'm doing a recipe, but this is fine. Okay, like so. And we're going to just whisk these until they're frothy. Frothy. Okay. Just like that. And then I'm going to add, probably should do them a little more frothier there. Think that's frothy, Jim? Is that frothy? Okay, camera guy says it's frothy, they're done. All right, now we're going to add 1 cup of heavy cream. I didn't say it was low fat, I'm just telling you that that's what's in it. Okay? And you know, you don't eat this every day. This is a special occasion thing. You know, Aunt Minnie's coming over and you're going to make her something like this, and you're going to put a nice salad with it. She would love it. Okay, so we whisk in the cream, some Parmesan cheese, good basis. Now, we're going to do some pepper sauce. Why not? This is Tabasco. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, Jim. Now, about 1/4 of a teaspoon or a little bit more. However, if you like it hot, put a teaspoon in. Doesn't matter. That's all up to what you think. And then, this is an unusual ingredient. This is a package of ranch dry dressing mix, okay? And all you do, dry, you add it. That's going to take the flavor to another step, okay? Now, all we do is whisk this, like so, just like that. Boy, it smells nice already with all those tastes. I mean, just ranch dressing in itself is great, you know. Okay, now we're going to stir in all the onions that we have cooled, like that. Get them all in there, get that flavor in there. Scrape the bottom of that pan, that's important. Get all them little brown pieces, that's where the flavor is. Absolutely, that's where the flavor is. Now, I'm not going to use this whisk because you know what? The onions would be all over the whisk. So to mix this, I'm going to use a nice, look at that. That's going to be great. Cheese, eggs, and don't forget that little package of ranch dressing. Take it to a new dimension, something different. Okay, now we're going to pour this into our already baked pie shell. Look at that. Oh, my. Almost looks good enough to eat it without even baking it. Of course, when you think about the eggs in there, maybe we don't want to do that. Would not be good. But you know what? There's nothing as satisfying as doing something special for someone that means a lot to you. Maybe you haven't seen them in a while. That makes life worth living for me when I can prepare something that somebody really likes and I haven't seen them in a while. It's wonderful. This one's going into a 350-degree oven, and this one's going to bake for 35 to 40 minutes or until it's golden brown, or you can put a knife in the center and it comes out clean, okay? All right, into the oven. There it is. Awesome onion quiche. We'll be right back in just a minute.
To get all the recipes from today's show, plus hundreds of others, just click the link in the video description or visit our website, ctvn.org/at-home.
Well, here we are in the dining room, and I hope you've enjoyed today's programs about vegetable pies. All kinds of pies, not the fruit, sweet ones, but some that you can prepare for a really wonderful summer brunch. You can prepare them for a holiday brunch, whenever you'd like to. Let's take a look at what we made today. Here is our beautiful Chattanooga tomato pie. Tomato and basil. And look how nice that crust gets, that you can lift it right out. We just garnished it with a nice big piece of tomato and some fresh basil on top. This is one that everybody's going to enjoy. Next to it down there in the front, that's our awesome onion quiche. Look how beautifully brown that gets on the outside. And when you bring them out, you want them to set for about 10 minutes before you go to cut them, because they need to gel up and just get the juices all gelled in there. If you cut it too soon, it kind of splats all over the plate, and that doesn't look nice. So you want to be sure that you do that. Notice we've added a citrus type salad. We didn't nothing with tomatoes because we have tomatoes in our pie. We have onions in our pie. But that is just wonderful romaine lettuce, and we added some purple onion and some pecans and some wedges of fresh oranges. The little mandarin oranges works well with that too. We've added fresh rolls, some butter, and what's better for summer or spring than a big pot of iced tea? That sets the tone. Make sure you use fresh lemons with it too, okay? We thoroughly enjoy coming into your home each week. We hope that you enjoy watching us. And you know, as I spoke to you before at the beginning of the program, today may be a very hard day for you, but I want to tell you that if you have a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, you have everything you need to make it through life. He's the answer to life's problems. You will never find a friend like him. He's one that sticks closer than your brother, your parents, anybody. He will not fail you. He will not turn his ear away from you. He loves you. And I would like to invite you to ask him to come into your heart. He will not turn you away. He's never turned one person away that has invited him to come in. Won't you do it today? It would be a great day. It would be a great start for the rest of your life. Believe me, this could be a turning point day for you. Just consider it and then just invite him to come in. Well, we like to invite you every time that we can to come back to our at-home kitchen. So be sure to join us the next time because it just wouldn't be the same without you here at home. We'll see you then.
Food provided by McGinnis Sisters Special Food Stores in Brentwood and Monroeville. Taste the world.
Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home. Thank you for watching.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.